Well, I know I do a lot of weird things. I suppose it goes along with the territory. Oops. I got toothpaste on me. Got a headache too. I think it's caused by these antibiotics. But, well, I got saved and baptized, saved in the traditional manner, or the Baptist manner, when I was like 9. And well, I grew up my mama played piano at the church, so I grew up sitting underneath her piano while she was playing in front of everybody as a little young child. And I grew up in church, but I was around a lot of Christians who weren't very good people and who like to walk around and act like they're better than folks, but be mean to people, but then call themselves Christians. And it made me not want to be at church, And I went to a Christian school. The principal ended up being a child molester, and he didn't molest me. He did paddle me every day. And he went to prison for it. And Webster was his name, Huntsville Christian Academy. They're using these churches and these Christian schools. That's where all this mind control bullshit is going on at. The mind control centers they sent me to in North Alabama before I came to Florida was at churches. That's where the screen rooms were at, was at churches. Big facilities. How many people do you think they have going through there a year? I mean, these were big complexes, campuses. Huge complexes. What are they doing, y'all? It wasn't just for just me, surely. I don't know, maybe it was. But anyways, well, I had stigmata when I slept outside for a week. The first night I slept outside, I slept at the top of the steps of the Calvary Baptist Church on 17th Avenue, and I had stigmata. And I don't remember exactly what gave me this idea. Maybe a dream I had, but I saw my soul to Jesus. So I woke up and there was blood all over my arm and in my face. Saw my pillow back at the hostel. It's still there. I wasn't imagining it. And there was a tiniest little place it came out of on my arm. It didn't hurt. And I wrote a letter to Jesus, and I marked it with a cross and blood, and I've hid it in that church. I put it in a tube with a cork, and I sealed it with wax, and I've hid it in that church. And it's still there. Well, part of the reason I did it because I was well, that was before, I don't remember if that was before I wrote the covenant or not. That was before I wrote the covenant. And so it was before I wrote the covenant, so I didn't really know who I was yet. I didn't really know till I wrote the covenant. I wasn't expecting to write it. I told you they got it out of me with mind control and neuro-linguistic programming. Well, it's called Monarch programming. Well, Nathan, who told me he was a neuro-linguistic programmer at work, one day at work said the word Rosetta Stone, along with a bunch of other weird mind control words. But when he said Rosetta Stone, I was like, oh, I got to write something down. I've got to record the story. And then, they sent me to a new job and on 11/11. And it's just crazy how things work out. Everything happens for a reason, y'all. I wouldn't even been in the right place at the right time to be able to write that if Mr. Williams hadn't told me not to come back to his side. I wouldn't have been sitting on the machine that said Rome. or there for the FedEx driver to be driving by honking in cadence. It's just crazy how things work out. I know I'm real extra sometimes. I can't help it. Hmm. Well, you know, I'm a vessel, I guess. I always have been. Well, you know, I had a friend, Jay, at, at the halfway house, Primary Purpose, the first place I stayed at when I came down to Florida after my mama died, or second place. First place I stayed at for the long term. And I prophesied his death. I did. Other people know about it. I took screenshots. I texted him. He said he wanted to go back to Tennessee. He was from Tennessee. It's part of the reason we got along. I said, if you go back, you're going to die. I said, and then I texted him again after he left with his girlfriend. I said, you're right on the verge of death. And he went home, and a day later, they found him hung in a tree. They sure did. Poor Jay. He was a good guy. And, well, I had a dream where he came to me in the dream and he asked me if he could use me as a vessel. I don't know. But I've always, my whole life, I've always been, you know, put my blood on things and worked with spirits and things like that. I don't know. I guess it just goes with the territory, folks. I don't know. I'm just myself. I can't help it.